Hi, I'm Brenda Lindgren, and I'm here today to talk to you about the Action Inquiry Project and the process that is used. I am a second grade teacher in Carroll, Iowa. The Action Inquiry process is a step-by-step process used to help solve a problem that is happening in the classroom. A lot of times technology can be used to help to solve this problem. The process is to actually help you create a solution to the problem that you are having in your classroom. Why would you choose to do this process? The action inquiry process can be used for many problems that can come up in a classroom. It could be whole group, small group, or even an individual student. This process is very useful because it's research-based, and you do the research to find strategies that work and have proven to work as well. So the first step is the ideas and the discussion. Figure out what exactly is the problem that you are having in your room and what would you like to accomplish? What is your final goal for this process? Discuss the problems. Talk about it. If you have a teacher's associate in your room, talk about it with them. Talk about it with other teachers. This step is really to recognize what is the problem that you are having in your classroom. Step 2 is the problem statement. This is where you write down your statement, exactly what the problem you are having in your classroom is. You want to include your background information. You want to give enough details, so you include all of this in your steps. My problem statement was that I have 5 out of my 20 students in my classroom who are on IEPs for reading and for math. I wanted to make sure that they were receiving core instruction at the second grade level, but also that they were working on their IEP goals as well. I want to make sure that they are using their class time as efficiently as possible. I was recently given a set of Chromebooks in my classroom, and I felt like this would be a great opportunity to use the Chromebooks to help me and these students out as well. The step 3 is the annotated bibliography. This is where you research your problems for ideas on how to solve it. Use many resources, use books, use journals, use websites that are accredited and that will give you that research-based information to show that this has already been done and it is doable and that it can work with your students and that you will actually get an answer to the problem that you are having. You need to document this information in annotated bibliography. Take notes on what you find to help you along with this process. Here is my bibliography. I was able to find a couple journal entries and also some websites that I thought would be very helpful in what I wanted to create for my students. Step 4 is the advocated solutions. This is where you find 3 or 4 possible solutions from your research that you think would actually work for you and for your students. List the positives and negatives. Think about what will actually really work in your classroom and be doable for you and your students. And then go ahead and choose the one solution that you think will work best for you after going over those pros and cons. I had a couple different solutions. One of my solutions was using a Symbaloo page for each of my students on their Chromebooks. And here are just some of the pros and cons that I found. Sometimes it just takes longer for them to type it in, but that's just something that we would have to work on to get logged into that Symbaloo page. But once they do it, that will become a pro because they will be able to be independent. I also have one iPad in my room, so if I did not have access to the Chromebooks, I would be able to do this on an iPad as well. Also, I have a Google Classroom web page, and I thought this could be another resource for me because my students already do know how to get on the Google Classroom, so I would not have to teach them how to log into Symbaloo because they already know how to log into this. My final solution that I picked was solution number 1, where they each get their own Symbaloo page with websites that fit their IEP goals and second grade goals, and they would each have their own page, and I would practice and teach how to log them in. So step 5 is the implementation plan. This is where you describe how you're going to do this process and solve the problem to reach your goal. These are my measurable goals. I wanted to make sure that I was working on their IEP goals and also their second grade goals. So I would see their graphs from their special education teacher at the beginning of the 6 weeks and then again at the end of the 6 weeks to see their process on that. And then also look at their assessments in my class as well for second grade curriculum. And then creating that Symbaloo page for each of my students was something that I needed to work on to make sure that it was aligned with the curriculum that they needed. I also expected the students to be able to log in and find the websites that were aligned to their goals as well as the second grade curriculum. So I knew that I needed to get these pages set up so that we could get started practicing getting logged into the Chromebooks and the Symbaloo page right away. The Implement 360 is step 6. This is where you get advice from other teachers. Many of them have great resources that you may not know about, so have them truly evaluate and give you constructive feedback on your goal, because this could truly change your process because they can help you and give you more resources that you have not found yet. So I was able to do this by emailing my school, and I was able to get a whole bunch of different websites and some example Symbaloo pages from other teachers on great websites that I could add to my Symbaloo page as well. Step 7 is the record of progress. This is where you work through and make sure that what you're doing is working. Are you measuring your goals? Is this something that you want to continue to do? In my record of progress, I was able to see that my students were, although it was taking some time to log in, they were making progress. And also they were making progress on their IEP goals as well. Step 8 of the process is the reflective assessment. This is where you need to evaluate how it's going. Are you making the progress that you wanted to in the beginning? Is there anything that you needed to change? Have you learned anything from this process, and can you share it with someone else? This is my reflective assessment. The biggest thing that I took from this was that technology can really help me to kind of be more than one place at one time. I really struggled with focusing on my IEP students, and I was very worried about my other students. I wanted to make sure I was giving enough time to each of those students. So being able to have something where I know my IEP students are still working and still getting the instruction that they need, but just not directly from me, so that I could work with other students, has been a very great opportunity. I feel very successful that I have been able to work in more small groups and one-on-one as well with my other students, because my IEP students are working on their goals and their second grade curriculum without having to have my full attention. I learned a lot from this process. I was able to see how other teachers do things. I was able to find great research online from other teachers who have actually done things like this to show that something like this can be done. I learned that it's okay to allow technology to help me. Not everything has to come directly from me. I can use these tools as another tool in my tool belt to make sure that my students are learning everything that they need from me. Step 9 is the reference list. This is where you list exactly what resources you did use to solve your problem. Here is my reference list. This is the websites that I used on my Symbaloo page. And step 10 is the project artifacts, where you document how you solved this problem, show it off, share it with others to see if they have the same problem as well. This is an example of one of my children's Symbaloo pages where they have their goals for reading and math, and so I have reading and math websites on this page for her to work through every day. They have been doing great on this, and it's exciting to see them make progress. I would suggest using the action inquiry process to everyone because it is research-based, it is a time saver, and it can be used for many different things in the classroom. Thanks for listening today.